Today's PortSwigger tutorial is entitled Exploiting Vulnerabilities in LLM APIs. This lab should be called OS Command Injection in LLM APIs just because I spent at least an hour trying different prompts before I read the lab's description. The lesson: always read the description for clues. It might save you precious hours. Moving on. To solve the lab, we must delete the morale.txt file from Carlos's home directory. Because we are working with LLMs and OS injections, you should read the documentation for both. Basically, OS command injection, also known as shell injection, allows an attacker to execute operating system commands on the server that is running the vulnerable application. Let's access the lab. Go to the live chat page and let's start asking the AI some questions. We know from the previous lab that this LLM can make API calls in our behalf, so let's just start with what API calls can you make? The subscribe to newsletter API call sounds interesting, so let's see what it does. Subscribe to newsletter. Now click the email client button to get to the provided email server. Copy the provided email and let's complete our prompt. Click send. We get a success response. Back in the email tab, we can see that we indeed receive a subscription confirmation email. Now, because we know that we are looking for command injection, let's try adding a bash command after the email text. We are going to use a semicolon. In a shell context, the semicolon is used to separate multiple commands, with each command being executed sequentially. Copy the previous text and just add semicolon who am I. When we run the whoami command in a terminal, it returns the username of the current user who is logged in. Send. We again get a success response. This seems strange. Was the command included in the email sent to the server? To check, we can click the backend AI logs button. This confirms that both the email and our command were treated as being part of the same email. Try using the same API call again, but this time let's use an email that is not subscribed yet. Let's say user@exploit and all the rest. Again, we are told that the subscription was a success. However, we can see in the email tab that no confirmation email was received. This means that something is happening on the backend. To see if the command is indeed being executed, we are going to use an out-of-band technique. For this, you should usually use your own server or Burp collaborator if you have Burp Professional. The lab provides an exploit server that logs requests sent to it, so we will use that. Click the Back to Exploit Server button. Now go to Access Log. Copy the exploit server's URL. Back in the live chat tab, let's make a subscribe to newsletter API call again, but this time we are going to use curl as our injected command in order to try to make an HTTP request to the exploit server. Let's also replace log with OAST to spot the request more easily in the logs. If this works, that is. Again, if you feel lost, you can read the OS command injection documentation. There is a lab there specifically created for out-of-band techniques. Click send. Everything seems fine. In the AI logs, we can see that our command was again treated as being a part of the email. Go to the exploit server logs and refresh the page. We can see a GET request for the OAST page, which was made using curl. This is it. We have command injection. Now we can exfiltrate different information. For example, we can use whoami to exfiltrate the current user that is logged in on the backend server. Make sure to use backticks or the $parentheses notation. Otherwise, the text will be treated as an ordinary text and we will get user equals whoami. Back in the logs, we can see that the user is Carlos. We can also try print working directory to see where the command is being executed. It seems that we are in /home/Carlos. As you may remember, we have to delete a file from Carlos's home directory, so this is great. We can also try ls to list the files in the directory. We found the file we have to delete, so now we just have to change our command from curl to rmmorale.txt. This should remove the file. Send a message, and the lab is solved. Now, if you are wondering how this could possibly work, I have here a proof of concept Python script for a short demonstration. This is probably not what the lab's code looks like, mind you. Using Flask, the script is declaring a subscribe endpoint that takes the user-provided email address from the form data. It then constructs a command by directly concatenating the email address into a shell command string. This is what causes the command injection vulnerability. The subprocess.run is used to execute the command in a shell. The subscribe script.sh simulates a successful subscription response without performing any actual subscription logic. As you can see, because we have provided no host and port when running the Flask application, it will by default bind to localhost on port 5000. To see the script in action, I will open a terminal and send a curl command to http://127.001.5000 to the subscribe endpoint with the email test@test.com. We get subscription successful. As you can see in the logs, the subscribe script was executed using the provided email. Now, because there is no sanitization being done on the email field, if you try to add another command after the email, we should see that command being executed as well. Let's try who am I again. As you can see, the second command was executed. I am indeed pinkboo. Because during the lab we did not have access to the source code, the way to check for command injection was to try to exfiltrate data using a server. This time, I will use the collaborator server from Burp Professional. I will also use the dollar notation instead of the backticks. This did not work. I probably did not copy the collaborator URL correctly. Let me just try again. As you can see, after I sent the request, I can see my username in the HTML request inside Burp's collaborator history. I hope this little demonstration made things a little bit more clear. This is it for today's lab. See you in the next one.